Hey everybody, so Tara Porter here, and I want to talk with you about something that has really hit me recently, and that is, can you get personal development burnout? Okay, so you hear about with training, you hear about you overtrain, and it results in like your body's just too fatigued, and you maybe went a little bit too far, and you should kind of scale it back a little bit, right? We've all heard of that. But is there such a thing as personal development overtraining? And the answer that I've learned is yes, in a way. Let me talk about it. So this last week, I was really struggling, and I couldn't figure out why. I had zero desire to do my to-do list, zero desire to connect with people and help them, which is crazy. Why wouldn't you want to help people, right? But I just was like, I'm done. I give up, right? And I would avoid my personal development. And I realized upon reflection, I was like, I don't want anyone to tell me one more thing that I have to do. And that's because I was getting to a place where I was taking in so much and not giving any of it back out. So in other words, I was learning all these cool things with personal development, but I wasn't putting them into practice. So you're learning all these great ideas, you're getting them all in your head, you're like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, I gotta do that, but you're not executing it. And what happens is you just store them, you get overwhelmed, and then you kind of get overtrained. You freeze up, and your mind is like, I'm done, right? So that's why I encourage you that when you do your personal development, it is so much more valuable if you do 15 minutes of personal development, find a takeaway from it that you actually implement, than doing 2 hours of personal development and doing nothing about it, right? Use that time to implement. If you find a great idea about something that really inspires you, take a moment right then to find a way to implement it. Maybe that means you add a little bit in some training documents that you have. Maybe you tweak an approach that you have with connecting with people, right? You fix your system based on what you learned. Or maybe you just learned something that you really need to pause. Take a moment to write in a journal and reflect on how that applies to you personally, how you can change your attitude. But take those moments rather than just taking in everything and getting it all overwhelmed and, overwhelming your brain. Take a moment to execute it. Okay? I've seen this with coaches on my team. I see coaches who listen to hours upon hours of personal development, and yet there's no action. There's nothing that they're doing to connect with people, or they're not having that success because that's not where they're focusing their energy. They're taking a lot of great ideas in, but they're getting choked up when it comes time to actually execute them. And that's because just take little chunks and execute them. And you're going to have so much more success if you do things that way. Not bashing on anyone that reads personal development for 2 hours a day, but I would maybe caution them to make sure that if they're doing that, what are they doing with that information? All right, everyone. I hope this helps. Feel free to comment below if you have any other additional thoughts on this topic.